Good morning, students. Now, once again, I am going to continue the chapter that is friction. This is chapter 12, in which this is topic 3, in which I will discuss particularly about the advantages and disadvantages of friction. So, in this case, if we want to enrich our knowledge, we have to understand what are the benefits and what are the losses of friction. So first of all, we will start about the friction is to be called necessary evil. Why it is called necessary evil? It is called necessary evil because it is necessary but also evil. Means it involves both things. It involves both things. Both things. First, it involves losses. It involves benefits. Here, necessary is standing for because friction is very much essential for our daily lives every step. Even when we are catching something, it needs friction. As you have seen your palm, you have observed there are a lot of grooves. This is to be given by God to grip anything with confirm. Means these are the things by which you can understand how much important is friction. Now, friction is to be considered as harmful also. Why? As you know, in the vehicles, lot of engines are working and you have heard a lot of noise. Why? This noise is caused due to friction. And this noise is to be produced by rubbing. And that is why it needs lot of energies, and that is to be consumed in the form of diesel or petrol or electricity. In this way you can understand friction gives us lot of losses in the form of heat loss also. After some time, if you will rub your hand, you will feel it become hot. Why? Friction produces heat. So, lot of benefits are there, lot of losses there. So, one by one, we will study them by dividing it into parts, that is, advantages as well as disadvantages. First of all, we will take advantages of friction. Here, if you will understand how much necessary is friction for our daily life. Every work, even you are playing cricket and you are catching balls, if your hand will be slippery due to grease or oil, is it possible to catch the ball? No. It is not possible to catch ball because this slippery surface of your palm will lose your catch, and in this way you can lose your game. So it is a very big consequence due to friction. Friction also helps you to move, and every step of running or walking. Okay. Now I will discuss every benefits of your daily life one by one. First, we will explain here walking. As walking is very important thing for human beings, and that is why walking is to be understood in the form of their consequences of loss and benefits, and it is to be studied at higher level to improve your walking. As you are wearing shoes, you will see there are a lot of groups is to be provided. Why? Why groups are to be provided? As research has been given us the information, groups will increase friction, and this friction will help you to move easily. So this is why groups are to be given in your shoes. First of all, understand what happens when you step up. When you lift one foot to move ahead, you same time pushes the ground backward, and you push the ground backward. At that time, if the ground will be slippery, what would happen? Your feet will slip, and in this way you can't move. Means two things is very important. First, ground must not be slippery. Second, if you wear shoes, their sole must be rough. In this way, friction will act in forward direction, and we pushes the ground in backward direction, and ultimately our body moves ahead, and walking phenomena is completed. Now try to understand slipping on ground. Particularly when you walk on a smooth surface, if you consider, suppose marble floor is to be given, and there if water is to be given, that means that floor will become more slippery, because what layer of water will act like a grease, and this will make the surface more smooth. As you know, marble is smooth already, but water make it more slippery. That means it will be difficult to walk even the marble floor where water is to be given. One thing very important that you are observing, whenever your step is to be gone on the peels of banana, what will happen? You know very good. This is daily life experience, and you are being careful about it. Here, banana peel inner part, if you will observe, that is very smooth, and being smooth, it slips very easily on the ground, and that is why your step will slip when your step pushes the ground in backward direction. In this way, you will fall on the ground. Next thing that I would like to describe here, that is, friction enables a car to move on road. Yes, I think you have already been seen tires and their grooves, and you have already been seen the speed of car. All these are interrelated. Means car will be under control only after if the grooves of wheel, means tire, will be working properly. Otherwise it would slip. And you have to understand, as the engine turns wheel, and sometimes we have to apply brake to stop. What will happen? Friction between the wheel, means tire, and ground will occur. And if groove will not be there in tire, it will skid. And that will ultimately will be converted into, you can easily understand, this will be called an accident. Means skid. Particularly in rainy season, this happens very frequently. Why? Because everywhere on the road, due to rain, water is to be fallen, and that water makes the road slippery, and due to which skidding chances increases, and that is why in rainy season more accidents takes place. Okay, why water makes, if you want to ask me, why water makes the surface? Very simple. As I have already been discussed earlier, it will fill up the grooves and hills, and that is why interlocking between the two rough surfaces will lack roughness and interlocking. That is why the slip will occur, means skid of tire will happen. Now try to understand. Friction enables us to apply brake and slow down and stop. As you know, we are driving lot of vehicles, and control on their speed is very easy. Otherwise, it will be fatal for your life, and it would convert it into an accident. So, control on speed, particularly riding on the vehicle, is very important. For this, in vehicles, system is to be provided that is to be called brake. Disc brake you have heard, I think you have seen already. And now it is hydraulic brake, you have heard about it. All these are new types of brake. But previously, in the beginning, you have seen the brakes that is to be given in your cycle. And you have changed them very frequently, time to time, because the rubber of brake which makes the grip more confirm. That is why, due to rub, it becomes thin daily by daily, and ultimately it becomes in vain, not proper to use. In this way, car and bicycle, where you will know brakes are to be given to control the speed and in this way it is very important. And brake is nothing. Here the brake pad is to be pushing the steel disc and compressing them, it stops the motion of wheel. And in this way, every wheel from cycle to vehicle is to be stopped. Understood? Now, try to understand. Friction enables us to write and draw pictures on the pencil, cardboard. Here you can see what happens here. Yes, when you write, the tip of pencil rubbed on the paper, and when you are rubbing, minor particles of carbon from the pencil tip will be entangled in the grooves of rough surface of paper, and that will distribute a line of carbon, and that will be seen as a what? Writing. And in this way we write on the papers. Same thing, this happens with new type of pen that is called ball pen. Same ball is to be fitted there, and that after rubbing on paper, it revolves and distribute ink on the paper. In this way writing is to be processed. Now you have to understand one another thing. Have you tried this? Or if you will write on glass surface with same pencil and pen, is it possible to write? Why? Could you think the reason? Yes. The reason is nothing. Reason is friction. Because on the surface of glass, being very smooth, can't provide friction. That is why it cannot cause friction, and in absence of friction, no particles are to be sprayed on the surface of glass, and no writing will be seen there. Your teachers already writing on a board, and you can understand chalk after writing will be minimize their size. Why? Because this chalk will lose continuously their particles in the groups of blackboard and appear as a writing. So very easy to understand how writing is possible on the rough surface, not on the what? Yes, that is a smooth surface. On a smooth surface it is not possible to write properly. Now try to understand. Friction enables us to pick up and hold things. Pick up. When you are catching anything, it would slip from your hand, or it would be caught by you. It depends upon your palm. If your palm is dry and rough, then grip will be maximized. And if your palm is to be rubbed and it becomes smooth and oil is to be provided there, then it will be difficult to catch anything. Understood? Why? Because due to smoothness and due to oil sprayed, it becomes more smooth, and that is why catching or holding and pick-upping will be difficult. So it is very easy to understand. why we can catch anything. Now proceed next thing. Have you seen the nails is to be hammered on the wall? Yes, very frequently. And nails are to be fixed in the wall. Why? Due to friction. If friction will not be there, friction is the interaction of two surfaces. The surface of nail is to be caught by or stopped by the surface of wall, and due to this high friction, nail is to be caught. If friction will not be there, then nail would easily come out. Understood the role of friction in fixation of nail? Okay. Same type, other observation, when you are climbing on the tree, friction helps you. And several examples in factories, machines are to be handled by belts from engine. If belt will be loose or become smooth, then engine can't be run the machine properly, and it will slip frequently and ultimately fall down. I think you can observe this on Atta Chakki if you have gone. Now try to understand buildings are to be made possible due to friction. As you have seen, bricks are to be kept on brick. If friction will not be exist there, then that will slip, and in this way it will be difficult to construct building. So one another example of ladder. If you use ladder to incline at a wall, if the bottom of ladder is slipping, then it will be difficult to incline on the wall. Now try to understand tying of knot of string. Yes, very frequently you are tying several times. Several bags are to be tied by strings. This string, your material is to be spread on the road. What would happen? Surprising thing. So think about it properly. What are the role is to be played by friction? So tying of bags by plastic thread will be risky. Understood? Why it will be difficult? Because slip will occur here. If slip will occur here, yes, bag will open on the road and insult would happen there. Now proceed. Seventh example that is to be given here, that is matchstick. Very frequently, every day, even you are doing this practice by rubbing the matchstick on the rough surface of matchbox, you can fire it. If roughness of rough surface of matchbox will lost, what will happen? It will be difficult to light the match. Very difficult. So new box will be required to light it. Means in new boxes, if you will see carefully, you will observe the groups are proper, and due to groups on the rough surface where you are sliding matchstick, and due to sliding, due to friction, heat is to be generated. And that heat is essential to fire the matchstick. Okay. Next and last, that is the example for benefits of friction is to be given here, is that friction enables us to cut wood by a saw. If friction will not be there, cutting will not be possible, because friction makes a grip in between the particles of wood. If it will be loose, then it will be difficult to disturb the particles or dislocate the particles from the wood, and ultimately it will be difficult to cut. So friction plays important role, particularly in case of cutting wood by saw. Now we will study one by one several examples to understand disadvantages of friction. Disadvantages is theirs. Friction is life-saving thing. It saves your life. It prevents you from skid and accidents. In this way you can say friction saves your life. And here frictions demands something from you. It also causes losses. To understand these losses, you have to see your old shoes. What you will see? You will see soles of your shoes were due to wear out because it is rubbed by the road, and ultimately a hole is to be produced in the sole. Hole in the sole makes this totally unfit to wear. Why this happened? This loss is happened due to friction. Yes, you have understood it. Now try to understand the tires of vehicles. Yes, at high speed vehicles are running on the road. You can understand lot of friction will occur, and tiny pieces of rubber will always worn out, and ultimately the tire will be baldy. Means no grooves will be seen on the tires. And this way this tire is very dangerous. Why? This tire would skid on the road, particularly in rainy season. So, though what happened? Yes, accident would occur. So beware. Next time when you are riding a car, you will see the tire. You may see bicycle also. Your bicycle also is skid. If there is no groove in the tire, then it also would skid on the road, particularly in rainy season on the turn of the road. Okay, now we have to understand friction wear out the rubbing machine part. Yes, machines, as you know, every vehicles, motorcycles are to given for 15 years by the Department of Vehicle. Why? After 15 years, it is to be discarded. Why? Because it is to be considered that your vehicle, parts of your vehicle will be proper up to 15 years, and after that it will wear out. Its parts will wear out, and in this way that will not work properly, that will consume more fuel, and it will cause lot of noise, and it would be sometime fatal for the rider. Because if some part is to be broken suddenly inside the engine, vehicle will stop suddenly, and in this way accident will occur. Okay, don't think about that. We will come to understand friction, but friction is responsible for such events. Friction damages the parts. So it is very easy to understand. Every part of your bicycle that you are using, you can see different parts of rim due to brake is to continuously damaged. So we will study next one. Here brake of cycle is to be given, and very easy to understand. The tiny parts of rubber of brake pad will be lost everywhere when you will apply brake, and in this way the brake pad will discard it, and it will unfit for use, and you have to purchase new one, brake particularly. And you can see the steps of staircase. Yes, you have seen it. Several temples in your school, even you can see surfaces of step are to be rubbed down, and it happens due to friction, because several persons passes through that route, and that rubs the surface continuously day by day, and in this way ultimately the stone steps are to be wear out. Now friction produces heat. Yes, why not? If by chance you have touched your vehicle in starting condition, what will happen? You have experienced it. Yes, means due to friction among the engine parts, heat energy is to be generated, and that heat energy would not only harms you, but it harms the parts of other parts of engine. So it is necessary to keep in mind that after friction your engine parts would produce heat, and the knowledge of such thing will help you to understand better in further in your life. Okay, and I try to understand friction reduces efficiency of machine. Yes, if friction will continue, and it will demand more, because old parts will consume more energy to run, and that is why it will be not beneficial to us, and it will demand lot of consumption of fuels, and in this way its efficiency as well, engine's efficiency will decrease. Another example, ultimate motion of the vehicle will also be influenced by the friction. Yes, if your parts of chain in your cycle and bearings became old and it is worn out, then you will feel difficult in running the cycle. So in this way you have understood lot of demerits of friction as well. Okay, bye.